Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. And thanks for checking out the channel. Man, maybe the best news of training camp so far today, huh? Jaelan Phillips off the PUP list. No more pup for JP, as this man is beating science. I keep getting into verbal confrontations, but honestly, some of the more heated verbal confrontations I've had with my good friend, co-host, Leroy Horde. You guys can hear us every single weekday, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. on the Tobin and Leroy show. But I kept telling him, I'm like, dude, you got to watch these videos of Jaelan Phillips. The man, if he doesn't, dismisses me. And I'm like, you got to watch the videos. The man is beating science. And it was quite a delight. It was quite a delight to hear Mike McDaniel. It was like a smoke bomb distraction, because there was a lot of injuries and some uneasiness out of the preseason game. And now you have this delightful day, because it's like, going into a day, you got to move the offensive line around. And then it becomes just a day of immediately it becomes like this great day, because one of the Dolphins' best players could be very close to playing actual football, which is a delight. You see him, he's hitting the sled, he's doing little drills, and the man has been, you've seen the craftiness, you've seen the speed that he's playing with. Everybody has been saying he's been a damn freak. But to hear him talk about this today was really goosies, because it's a very reflective man. This is a man who I think gives a very thoughtful press conferences. I think is very good in the media. Good dude overall. I think he's been he's shown himself to be a pillar of the Miami community. He does a lot of stuff with the Dolphins Community Foundation and the Cancer Challenge, and not only that, he saves woodland creatures from thirst. This is an overall good guy, Jaelan Phillips. I think this is an easy man to root for, not only as a Miami Dolphin and former Miami Hurricane, but just seems like a good dude overall. But yeah, some of the things that he was saying today, I was like, oh, look at that. Listen to that. Because he was saying, like, the whole process of that he's going through, he says it's going to make him, and I quote, a monster.
Yeah, when it happened, obviously, I was just so devastated that, all the work that we put in together as a team and obviously individually throughout the whole offseason and everything culminating to that, and kind of just the way the season was going. Obviously, I had some adversity in the beginning of the season, injury-wise, and so I felt like I was really hitting my stride, and to especially the way that game was going, like I said, I was hooping. I was balling out. Mike had told me before the game, like, this is your opportunity to kind of be a household name. And so I was riding high, like probably the highest I've been in my NFL career. And then to be humbled just like that, it was devastating. And but right when it happened, I remember going to the shower and I was crying, and I just told myself, like this is okay. Like, this, I'm going to attack this. Like, I'm going to get over this, and it's going to make me stronger at the end of the day. So I really thank God. I really said thank you. Like, thank you for giving me this opportunity, because I know it's going to make me a monster.
Damn, dude. Wow. Whew. That is, you already know what it is. Like, it is, and that, it's not only like it touches the heart, right? Easy, like I said, easy guy to root for, freak, prime of his career. He's entering this big year. And damn, we were all kind of there to see the ride. It's like, sometimes in these NFL game, you get injured, they move the hell on. Just watch the carnage that was this past week in the preseason game. Guys who may not have roster spots or jobs, just, plays on a crappy field. Sorry, we got to move on here. Next play. And the Jaelan Phillips thing was not only devastating, but then you have like this NFL theatrics around it, because, yeah, that episode of Hard Knocks was gut-wrenching. It was some of the most just gut-punching, gut-wrenching television you've seen, because we all knew it was going to happen. That's the weird thing about it, right? Like, you have this turnaround of 2 days or I guess it might have been a few more days because it was a Black Friday game. But you have this turnaround of a few days to get to the thing we all know is going to happen. And then, to reflect on what he had said, you remember in that episode, Mike McDaniel telling him he's going to be a household name. And he was killing it. And then, like, they just put the focus on the leg, and we all just see what happens. And that was, it was brutal. It was so brutal to watch that. It was unbelievable. So for him to say, and he had said that he had seen it a few times, that he had watched the episode back a few times. He's done a lot of introspection with this. And so for him to get to this point where he's even on the practice field, he is with his teammates, and he had said, like, this word's been dropped a couple times this year, that this defense is special. And that he thinks this defense with these guys can be very special. This is not the first time I've heard one of the defenders utter that word to describe this defense. But if you're going to get a tuned up Jaelan Phillips to basically get this thing almost from Jump Street, man, that not only will you could make this defense special, but becomes dynamic, becomes scary almost. And to hear him speak this into existence almost, like this positive reinforcement that he had put into the ether, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to hear all that. He had said that he had talked to Aaron Rodgers about the injury. He had talked to Kirk Cousins. He had talked to Shaq Barrett, who he had said, one of the interesting things is, like, sometimes guys don't feel like themselves. Nick Needham didn't feel like himself a lot last year. But Shaq Barrett had told him, he goes, I think you're going to feel just as explosive. And so that was, like, maybe Shaq's parting gift to the Miami Dolphins to just continue to add that confidence onto Jaelan Phillips' shoulders. But is not only having, like, this like physical fortitude that he's pushing through, but also the mental side of it. Like, to go from that point where you're like, you wonder, is my career going to be the same? Am I going to be able to, make this generational wealth? Am I going to be thought of as a what if? Because everybody says, like, Jaelan Phillips is a star in the making. Every scout, GM list that you put out there, this man, even with injuries, is like, no, they think that he's that dude. They think that he is that kind of special. And you just see him. The dude is a freak. Just like a physical specimen. The dude looks like the Hulk in Aqua and Orange. It's ridiculous how this man looks. And, I mean, like, if you were to bet on who could have made this quick turnaround, he would have been a pretty solid bet. But you never really know. You never know. You don't know when these injuries, who's going to come back from it right, who's going to come back from it the same, who's going to be able to have all that stuff go their way. But he has. And he's like, it's made a monster. I was like, that's exciting. That is exciting news. He also had some pretty cool things to say about Chop Robinson, the rookie pass rusher, who we have yet to see. He did not play in the preseason game. Apparently, Mike McDaniel said that he had been dealing with some minor stuff. But here's JP on Chop.
They've been great. They've been super eager to learn. They've been picking my brain. I've been trying to give them as much knowledge as possible. When I see them play, like Chop, he's super athletic, super explosive. His get off, his aggression, his leverage, everything is like better than I was when I was a rookie, for sure. And his mentality too, like he doesn't even celebrate. Like I'm trying to get him to be a little bit more emotive, just because you could tell how like that's not enough for him. Like when he makes a big play, makes a TFL or whatever, like that's kind of the standard, which is an amazing thing. And so I think he's been doing a great job. Mo's been doing a great job. Like I said, super eager to learn.
That's what happens when you don't have a turnover chain in Penn State. You should have had that with Manny Diaz. Would have celebrated more. But no, he at this point where Chop Robinson is continuing to impress everybody, and including a man who could, you could be salty about that, right? Like you'd be like, oh, great. Like not only am I rehabbing, but the team also just drafted somebody else that does the thing that I do. obviously, you find space for guys who are great at getting after the quarterback, but you can take it the wrong way. Somebody in a different elk could take it the wrong way, and he did not. He seems to be showering it with positivity, which is, I think, one of the things that everybody who's a Dolphin fan can really get around with Jaelan Phillips. That's why he's become such an easy guy to root for. So awesome news. Best news of training camp, especially with all of the other things that, Odell, they revealed today Odell still remains physically unable to perform. Tanner Connor's going to miss some practice time. Keon Smith going down with the ACL injury. Brewer down with the hand injury. Need a little positivity. And I think this is certainly a great jolt, especially for a new defense.